where are you going? What are you hiding, Peter? I'm just kidding, I don't care. Bye.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode, my people, mi gente. I'm Will.
I'm Linda.
And this is Will Weekly. That was a clip from Spider-Man Homecoming. It's it's a reboot from Marvel. Sony and Marvel teamed up. People have been asking me, I'm so tired of Spider-Man. They keep rebooting it. It's a new Spider-Man. My coworkers are like, I'm not gonna go see it because I'm just tired of Spider-Man. But some people don't get it that this is special because this is the first time Marvel is fully involved. I explained that to you as well.
Yeah.
You kind of had the similar concerns. You're like, why they keep switching to Spider-Man? But Marvel is fully involved in this one. This is the first time they integrate the rest of the Marvel universe, Iron Man, the Avengers, the whole concept of the Avengers, and the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Spider-Man. So that is why it's a big deal for a lot of comic book fans of Spider-Man in general. So, Linda, what did you think about this film?
I feel that they finally got it right? This guy did an amazing job. He really, fit into the character of Spider-Man, look his age. He's supposed to be very young, act his age. And I loved it. I really did.
You loved it?
Yeah. I think so far, for me, is the best one.
To me, this is the most well-rounded Spider-Man. Like you said, Tobey Maguire did a great job in the original Spider-Mans. Andrew Garfield, he did a good job. But even though he's a good actor, I liked him in other things as Hacksaw Ridge. I don't think he was the best pick for Spider-Man because he looked a little bit older than the teenage years of Spider-Man. But Tom Holland, I think he is so far the best Spider-Man to date.
Yes.
The best Spider-Man to date. From what I heard from when he auditioned, he has a serious dance background, gymnastic background, parkour background.
Which helped him a lot with this movie.
Parkour is like from France where, they jump from building to building. So you can see that he really knows how to do this stuff. He's very athletic and he captures the character of Spider-Man really well. And I was happy to see that because, what Marvel does right a lot of times is casting. They cast the perfect people for these movies, and casting I think is half the battle. Right. You cast like Thor. Chris Hemsworth, he's the perfect Thor. And that's why it's believable and you enjoy these movies because it's like, all right, that's Thor. That's the guy in the comic book. Iron Man, Tony Stark, perfect.
Perfect for it.
Captain America, Chris Evans, perfect Captain America. And they nailed it with this one, Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
Yes, they did.
So another thing that I liked about this is that it really feels like New York.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if you guys know, Will Weekly is filmed in Queens. We're right here in the heart of Queens, New York, baby. Queens. I'm originally from Brooklyn, Staten Island. I spent most of my life in Brooklyn, as you can tell from the Brooklyn accent. But I'm in Queens now. Yeah. We're in Queens now. And watching this movie, watching such a big movie, such a big character from a Marvel universe that comes from Queens, watching the 7 train. That I take the 7 train in the morning, by the way.
Yeah. For him, it's very familiar, all this area.
Very familiar.
I'm from Long Island, but I'm hanging out in Queens a lot. So I kind of like, wait a minute. That's all like areas that we pass by.
Yeah, and in the beginning of the movie, he's in the train, the 7 train, and he's grabbing on for dear life on his phone. And I'm like, oh my God, that's my life. I'm on that 7 train all the time, So all the locations felt very believable. The last Spider-Man, I think Amazing Spider-Man, it was like New York, but it wasn't New York.
It was more like in the city, feel like.
It was in the city,
more like,
but even in the city, it felt like a movie version of New York. Sometimes if you've been to New York, it feels like sometimes it feels like a movie version of New York. It doesn't feel like the real New York. In this one, it felt like New York. It felt like Queens.
So it's a culture. I feel like they emphasize a lot on the culture, the local deli, with the guy speaking Spanish and then, he understood that, what he said. Well, it's just a little clip that it was pretty funny in the movie. But I'm just saying, in general, they emphasize a lot of the culture of Queens and New York.
Right.
You know, in general. And
if you don't know about Queens, if you've never been here, it's probably the most diverse city in all of America, and is known to be one of the most diverse cities in the whole world. The borough of Queens, even more than Brooklyn, even more than Manhattan.
Yeah.
And I really felt that in this movie, that they got that right, even with the school. In the school, all the kids were diverse, a lot of diversity, and that really felt real to me.
Yeah.
Because being, living in Queens, I see that all the time, and I was like, all right, that makes it feel legit.
Right.
That diversity, all these different cultures. When I go to a park, there's a park right by my house.
Right.
And that's exactly how my park is.
Right.
Like kids from all over the place. Playing basketball from all over the place. And it felt, that part of the movie felt legit. Now let's get to the rest of the characters. I think the villain, Michael Keaton, in this movie, I think he did a great job.
Yeah,
Michael Keaton.
He did. He didn't do like the very bad villain part. You know,
right.
He wasn't like an evil guy or the guy that you just want to like get rid of right away because he's so bad and evil.
He wasn't over the top bad.
He wasn't, and I enjoyed that because like even though you knew he was bad, the beginning of the movie they show that he was just being a normal guy working and trying to like make a living, but then he got angry about certain stuff, and then he started doing these things that it was illegal,
right?
But at the same time, they mentioned he had a family, he had to make the money, but I mean, I felt like it really fit the character. And he did the villain part in a different way, which was fresh. And I like that.
It was one of the most complex villain characters I've seen in a Marvel movie to date. Because he was like a really well-rounded character. Like this guy has a family. He kind of got into the life of crime because he feels like the city screwed him over.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
like the rich
believable.
people, screw him over.
The rich people screwed him over. And as a person living in New York City, sometimes a lot of people have felt that way. Sometimes when I get a $150 parking ticket in the city, you feel screwed over. You feel screwed over by the city, or when they raised the hike on the Metro card, like they raise it another $20, you feel screwed over. So with Michael Keaton in this character, he's just trying to provide for his family. He was doing his job as he always did his job, cleaning up messes. And the city kind of came in and took his job away.
Right. And then he became, bad. He became a shady businessman. So
right.
They started doing really bad things. So Spider-Man was trying to prove himself that he can be this amazing hero to Tony Stark, to Iron Man. And, he started like investigating himself, which I think the story of it, the focus of it, how you say it, the main plot of the movie was very, it wasn't like over the top.
Right.
But it was like more like, this is a Spider-Man. He's a kid. He's only 15 years old.
It felt very grounded.
Exactly.
It felt very grounded compared to the rest of the Marvel movies. This one felt very like, okay, this is in Queens, in this little neighborhood.
Yeah.
He's trying to stop car burglars and stuff like that. And he's a little bored he's waiting for a text. From Happy to see if like the Avengers need him, And
I like the beginning of the movie too, because they went back to the end of
Civil
the last
War.
Civil War.
Captain America Civil War, where he takes the homemade videos of like the action, and he's so excited about it.
I really love that. I was like, because sometimes some people maybe didn't see the movie Civil War, so maybe didn't see it, so now you get a little background why he's like so into Tony Stark and wants to be part of the Avengers.
Right.
Right.
He's really excited.
Yeah, he's so excited for that. He wants that so bad. So I really enjoyed this movie. It was so fresh. It was so nice. It was like, it was new, and it was the whole story. They kept the whole story of Spider-Man. With the ant and the girl that he likes.
It was a fresh take. It was a very fresh take on Spider-Man. One thing I had to get used to, though, that I grew up on the comic book. Spider-Man was always one of my favorite characters. I had to get used to his suit being so high tech.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? His suit in this movie was kind of like a mini Iron Man with all the things inside of it. It even has like a Siri type of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I at first I wasn't sure if I liked it or if I liked it. I don't know.
But they had to switch it up.
They had to switch it up.
And plus, the main story is that Tony Stark gave him that suit.
Right.
You
So
know?
is he Spider-Man without the suit, or does he need the suit to be
Well,
Spider-Man?
he did prove that.
And that's part of the movie, and that's part of the story. So another part of the movie that I really liked is that this is for the first time. I don't think I've seen this before, but this is the first time he really has like a best friend
Yay!
in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, like the
he
chubby
had
guy.
a best friend, you
Ned.
know, the rich guy before, you know, that was the son of the bad guy, but
He wasn't like a friend.
Right.
It was like a fake friend.
This time was a real friend.
This time for the first time he has like that person to kind of bounce off of, you know, jokes and it was very helpful in terms of story because he kind of tells the best friend what's going on. Like
when he finds out, it
right.
was pretty funny.
When he finds out, it's pretty funny. The whole time, I feel like in this movie, Spider-Man has something to bounce off of, whether it's the friend or talking to Siri, which is like the voice-activated artificial intelligence in the suit. Anyway, so let's wrap this up, guys. Out of 5 stars, Linda, or, you know, sometimes last episode we said bananas. You could choose whatever, you know, fruits you want to rate this movie. What are you saying?
I'll give it 5 bananas.
5 bananas
Five
from
bananas.
Linda. 5 bananas from Linda.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna give it. This is hard for me. I liked everything about this movie. There was a little twist at the end, which I really enjoyed. Can't say anything about it. Spoiler-free review. I'm gonna give this movie 4.5 bananas. 4.5 bananas. Almost a 5. I feel like maybe something a little bit there was missing. Slightly.
All right.
You
I
know?
mean, it's fair. 4.5 is really good.
4.5 bananas. I just felt like his motivation to go after these bad guys, I really wasn't buying it as much. Like, because to me it wasn't that personal. I feel like he was just going after these guys to go after them to try to prove something.
No, I think I disagree on that.
It didn't feel that personal.
I disagree on that. I feel like he wanted to become bigger and he wanted to show that he can do better, but at the same time to help the Avengers. He was trying to help them and stop. Once he realized that this had to do, you know, with them, he wanted to help them.
I just feel like the motivation to stop these guys could have been better, more personal.
Well, it shows at the end that he is a Spider-Man and he wants to stay in ground.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
So there is a twist at the end.
The ending, I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
My favorite part of the movie, the ending. There's a lot of things that happen right at the end of the movie that are funny.
Yeah.
And just overall, the movie has a lot of comedy. I mean, the story, the plot, everything, legit, very well done. 4.5 bananas, almost 5.
Okay.
Linda, you're giving it 5 bananas.
I'll give it 5 bananas.
Well, that's it for today's episode. Go watch Homecoming. Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment, please. If you like this episode, please press that subscribe button, that thumbs up button. It really goes a long way. And like always, shout out to the subscribers, new subscribers, all the people that are thinking about subscribing. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye-bye, guys. Enjoy
Peace
your
out.
day.
Enjoy your day. Bye.